vibes.
nice and calm. Two very different vibes.
Hello.
I had to give myself that vibe because I'm in your vibe.
Yeah.
Chill. So I had to like counter that with a wow,
Yes.
crazy vibe. You know how
Episode
that goes.
518. Yeah, sometimes you have to like will yourself into like exuberance.
Yeah. It's like the pencil test, you know, the
Yeah,
thing with the you put the pencil in your mouth and then it makes you smile and then it shows that you have an increased or like a high elevated mood.
Yeah. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like the victory thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Hard to get into an elevated mood these days.
What's the
feels
matter?
like.
What's stuck in your craw?
What? Oh, I love when you say that. It's just such a cute expression.
What is it?
You know what? I feel. Do you have those days or weeks or months or whatever it is where it just feels like you keep saying to yourself, "Okay, let me just get through this day and then we'll be good. Let me just get through this week and then we'll be good."
Yeah.
That is like where we are right now. Like, so there's a lot of like me saying that to myself and then waiting for that. But you know, I was thinking about this a lot after we read the book, The Power of Habit, for book club last month. It was just so good and totally our favorite. I was thinking about how it said in there that our brain loves habit, of course, and that there's so much that we do that are habitual behaviors that we don't even think about, and how difficult it is for our mind to have to relearn or create new habits. And then I was thinking about moving.
Okay.
And when you move into a new house, every single thing is a new habit.
Yeah.
I've kind of been auditioning different spots for where do I put my keys when I get home?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So it's like you're thinking like, and then I have to go, well, fuck, which spot are they in right now? You know, because nothing has a home officially. Like a lot of things have like temporary locations.
Yeah, clean slate
but I'm
kind
still
of.
in like the getting rid of old furniture and replacing it with new. So yeah, it's
Do you
hard
feel
to
settled
get.
though, or still unsettled?
No, still a little unsettled. Like I think it's because not everything is all fully set up. You know, there's only one of me. And so I have to kind of pick which projects I want to do each weekend.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of like the order of operations. Like you don't want to put up the shelves before I paint the walls, you know, because then I'm going to have to take them down again and paint, you know.
Yeah.
So it's, and there are limited hours in the day. So I'm just trying to I'm realizing now I'm going to need to outsource things. My mom was so shocked that I hung that TV by myself. She was like, what? Why didn't you just hire? So, you know, I think I'm going to have to find a handy person.
Yeah, this is something I've had to teach Adam, that like just because you
and Adam and I are the same.
Yeah, just because you are able to do something doesn't mean it's a good use of your time.
This is absolutely me.
Because he's
And
like
then
that
we're
with
both
everything.
ADD.
Yeah.
So we do the thing that's right in front of us that we see.
Right.
Which tends to be the around the house, like the, you know, I got to hang those shelves. Because that I can look at and I could see. What I can't see are the 3 emails I have to respond to.
You need a handy woman or a handyman.
Yes.
Like
I know I do.
Get somebody
so
over there.
I would really love a woman. That would be great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like a what's the word? Sexist in my choosing of, but I'm going
like
to be.
against men.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. Fair, right?
Just be okay with
that's
that.
like, I would really like to, why haven't we said that yet? From now on, I'm just only working with women.
Yeah, I
Like,
discriminate.
why haven't I just started discriminating? Because anytime I work with a man in any male-dominated profession, I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
Currently annoyed with the car people who still have my car, thank you. Like, how long does it take?
Fault. I think it's the shipping problem. You know,
I mean,
they
okay.
always have to get a part.
That is exactly what they were waiting on, a part that
always
was
a part.
back-ordered or whatever. And then I was like, what does back-order mean? Like, are we talking back-ordered from their warehouse in Cincinnati? Or are we talking, I can drive down the block and get it from the neighborhood, your sister store right down the street. So the thing is that I don't like is lack of communication, which I feel like would not be as big of an issue if I were dealing with a woman.
That's true. And they always just say apart. They don't even say which kind.
Right. Just like apart. Right. And then it makes me think, I'm like, what are you doing in there? What's happening? And I know that people do not have the same work. Here's the blessing and the curses.
Yeah.
My mom taught me, shout out to Sally, a really good work ethic. Like when the job, when we start the job, I am working and I am full steam ahead.
Tireless.
And I am going we're finishing. We're not taking breaks. We're like going to do it and we're going to do it fast. Yeah. When I hired movers, I was like helping them out because every minute counts over here. And the guy goes, "Wow, you're better than a lot of my guys." I was like, "I know. That's the problem. I'm going to need you to at least be better than me when this is your job." I didn't say it like that, but this is what's happening inside my mind. And so, yeah, that's the blessing, the curse. When you're good at things, you also have like a high bar. That's why my goal, my New Year's resolution was do things that you're shitty at. But now it's like...
You're like, I'm not shitty at anything. That's a real problem.
God, that's so funny. Oh, really, it's just like making me notice how other people are really shitty at things. No, we're learning acceptance. We're learning, how to just deal. So that's annoying. I don't even remember what the real question was. Do I feel settled? Yeah, it's like stuff like that. And why I need a handy person. I'm all over the place. Gosh.
Well, you're allowed to be crabby because you're very rarely, obviously
I'm rarely crabby. Mm-hmm. But when I do get in the crabby mood, I then have a list of it turns into that. Yeah. And another thing.
First of all.
I'm annoyed. Here's what I would like to complain about something since I have the mic.
You have the floor. Mm-hmm.
Tap, tap. I hope that came up on the audio because that would make for a good joke. Okay. I am annoyed that at 2:00 in the morning or something, after like 2 glasses of wine and us recording like a podcast that day, I think it was like our book club night and everything. So I was like in an extra, lively mood.
Yeah.
Wound up. I went online or I went on Twitter like you do. And I retweeted somebody's a hilarious tweet by one of the contestants from RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know who it was, but they said the only All-Star challenge I'm interested in comes with like hash browns, eggs, toast, which is so funny, so hilarious. I was like, that's genius. Also, I totally agree. Like that, Sarah, a breakfast joke, that's my favorite joke of the day. The best joke of the day. So I retweeted. Not 24 hours later, do I go on Twitter?
Yep.
Some journalist from Online People magazine.
Yes, I saw this.
They're just like, this is nowhere in the pages of the actual magazine. This isn't like anything like where, oh my gosh, look at, Sarah's in People magazine. It is not content. That.
Yeah.
It's like, Sarah's from the challenge response to da-da-da. I was like, damn, if I knew that I was like, this was going into print, I would have been a little more selective about what my official response was. I'm like, this is a 2 a.m., 2 glasses of wine retweet. Let's like dial it back in the, I just was like real, that kind of got under my skin a little bit.
So you didn't like that they were deducing your feelings about the show just from that simple retweet?
That something as that, first of all, isn't like an official statement.
Yeah.
Then nobody asks me. Nobody, like, I'm trying to make a joke.
Yeah,
and
you just like a goddamn breakfast buffet.
I just like a joke about scrambled eggs and baking people. Like, and I love me a good drag queen quote.
Yeah.
So shoot me. I don't know, like, it just is crazy to me that we live in a world where that somehow becomes article worthy, when the thing that's nuts to me is like the other shit that we do. Like, you and I do things in our personal life that is
matter.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Wouldn't it have been great to be like,
well, and furthermore,
Sarah's
we actually do talk about reality
leading
TV.
Like Sarah's leading a workshop on trauma, like based on the things that she like. Wouldn't that be a nice thing? Why does it have to be on a 2 a.m. retweet? Just like, don't listen to the internet, people. It's insane and all bullshit.
Well, one good thing on the internet, I will say, is a new podcast from Wondery. It's called The Vaping Fix. So, Sarah will be super into it. Basically, if you or anyone you know has ever used an e-cigarette, you're going to want to hear it, because they basically are telling this shocking story of how the e-cigarette company Juul, they were supposedly helping lifetime smokers quit, but instead it managed to hook a new generation of young people on something that is also addictive. So it's just fascinating. Anytime you have a podcast that's sort of it shifts your understanding of a subject, I think that's super fun.
See, now there's important information.
Yes.
Definitely article worthy and story worthy.
Yeah. So follow The Vaping Fix on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or you can also listen early and ad-free by starting your free trial of Wondery Plus in the Wondery app. And check out The Vaping Fix.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's what I'm a little worked up over today. But,
I hear you. I mean, I've clearly not made peace about all the reality stuff. Each week I find and I said this to Sarah earlier, previously, I noticed that things are ramping up. I think it's because of the OG challenge and then the Real World Homecoming. I think former cast members that had sort of put it to bed are kind of getting this sense of oh, maybe I'll do it again. And then it just causes this percolation of drama. And I was noticing this after our last few Q&As, just different issues with cast members who didn't like things we said and blah, blah, blah. And I just thought, I am just not cut out for this line of work.
I don't think very many people are.
Yeah.
I think that people don't understand what's involved in this. Even the people who are challengers or contestants from back in the day when things maybe were a little bit different or not as you're not as exposed.
Right.
Or
it didn't used to bleed into your real life.
Yes.
Once you were done filming, you just went back to normal life.
Right.
And then
I
social
think
media changed that.
Yes. And I think that being able to go back to normal life is something some people can do. There are exceptions. There are people who I think have really good support systems, who have very strong identities away from the challenge.
Yeah.
I think when your identity is wrapped up or linked or heavily reliant on the challenge to, I don't know, tell you who you are.
Yeah.
Then it can be very difficult for people to adjust or even have feel like they're in control of that identity.
Yeah. Anytime, especially, if your identity is wrapped in it, that's not great. And then if your value hinges upon it.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
If they don't get invited, then they have this self-doubt and this sense of I'm nobody now, I don't matter. Yes. All of that.
Exactly.
It's just,
yes. Your value, your worth, who you are is related, tied up and wrapped up in the challenge. And that is very dangerous because it's all out of your control and it's all for entertainment's sake.
Yeah, it's not going to be a peaceful life.
Right. It's not. And, you know, I wasn't shocked. That's not the right word. I just thought it was really interesting and curious that, you know, another tweet I put up that, so, you know, people kept asking, like, you know, are you going to go back and do the OG challenge? Like, you should totally do it. It's like so easy. It's like summer camp for grown-ups. And I totally understand what people are saying. They watch it. Yeah, I get you. It looks, those challenges, I could crush them all. Thanks, guys. I really love that you guys are saying that. I totally am with you. But I tweeted and I said, you know, it's so interesting that people think the hardest part of the challenges are the actual challenges.
Yeah, that's not what's holding us back.
Nope. And then somebody tweeted back and they were like, yeah, you're right. We know it's the other cast members. And I was like, nope, that ain't it either.
No.
And I was like, wow, that's really fascinating.
Yeah, but people listening are going to want to know what it
disconnect.
is. They won't know the answer.
And that to me is the really interesting part, that there is a big disconnect between the viewers and their experience, of course, because it's so different, and what the challenger, what the person on television actually experiences. And the most difficult part is that identity stuff, and is being so exposed, and is having things like a tweet that you put out at 2 o'clock in the morning become part of an article that then makes you feel very, it makes you feel like there's a need to be cautious or hyper vigilant of anything else you say.
Absolutely.
And if you are monitoring your language, monitoring your behavior, being hyper vigilant of whatevs because of other people, that will absolutely affect your mental health and well-being.
Yes.
100%, no ifs, ands, or buts, because that's not being authentic, and that will cause anxiety or depression, one of the two.
That retweet that you put out that was just silly and then turned into an article, there's an incongruity there in terms of like what you thought you were saying and then what was portrayed. It put all this weight in something that you just put out flippantly. And then that can be scary. Yes. Because you're like, this was no big deal.
I had so many thoughts. Like, it was the next morning, and I opened that up before I had like a big old work day. And I'm like going to go talk to clients. And luckily I have great awareness, and I was able to have the perspective and see this and recognize what was going on internally with me and where my thoughts went. And whenever that happens, I always put somebody else in my position who maybe wouldn't have that awareness.
Yeah.
And I think, wow, this is how I feel. And I'm, you know, because this is what I practice doing. And, you know, it's like just a muscle you have to build up. And all of you people listening can do this too. When I have a feeling, then I have the awareness of the feeling, that metacognition. As soon as the feeling comes up, I go, oh, this is a feeling. I wonder what this feeling is about. And then I have like the feeling about the feeling, where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like shocked that I have this feeling. And so like there's a lot of like, you know, analyzing the situation going on, and then thinking about like that. It's not an easy thing to do. And if I didn't do that, I can absolutely see how the rest of my day may be affected.
Yeah.
And how you'd just be in that hyper-vigilant mindset where you'd be monitoring everything you say, or thinking like, the next tweet that I put out, I definitely thought about in a different way.
Right.
And that is a weird thing about bullshit.
Yeah, it's not worth it because it doesn't enhance your life. It's not like tweeting is somehow crucial.
No.
So then you just don't do it. And
here I was like thinking I'm being right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just interesting. It's just something, and this is the thing that I think gets lost, because it's difficult for people who have been on the challenge to be able to, or any reality show.
Yeah.
To be able to speak out about this, because they get exactly what you talk about so often, Susie, that pushback of like, well, you should be grateful,
Yep.
or look at all the wonderful things that came from
Yeah.
it. So, and they are grateful. And and our brain like struggles between those two different truths, and so it just feels like, do I even have the right to say these things and to talk about this? And that's why I think it's so important to have mental health support for people who have been on these shows, just out of like ethical and moral like obligation, because people don't know that they need it. People don't know that this is affecting them. They just will just see the symptoms. People aren't going to come and say, I've really been like questioning my identity and who I am and like my value as a person. And I'm noticing that I'm becoming more isolated and that I'm starting to like, they don't say that.
No.
So like it's really, I can see it happening. And it just feels like I'm watching I'm watching a car accident happen, and like here I am selling a really good brake system.
Right.
Like, wow. Really wish you guys would be using the braking system I'm trying to talk to you about as we're watching the car accident where the brakes don't work.
Well, and even this conversation, some people will be offended by.
Why?
Well, just because it's that sense of like, why are they always complaining about it? They got money from it.
This
and like,
isn't a complaint.
no.
I want to make that super clear for anybody who may be confused by that. This is a reality.
Yeah, this is just observing things that are actually happening.
That is all. And things can be both good and bad. Good and bad are judgments. Mm-hmm. Some things just are. And what's good for one person is not, that is subjective. What's good for one is not good for the other. What's bad for one is not bad for the other. It's all different. So we have to like just look at it at the facts.
Yeah.
End of lecture.
Well, the fact of the matter is that whether you're mad about reality TV or not, you're going to want to, have a delicious, refreshing, summery drink. Thanks to Huzzah, I'm making it easy for you.
I can taste it right now.
Yeah. So yummy. These are probiotic seltzers that are so delicious and very, like I said, refreshing and summery. Raspberry and lemon, strawberry and hibiscus, juicy pear, all yummy flavors, but they only have 3 grams of sugar and 15 calories. Hello. Great mixers, too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're great for diving into summer, and I know you guys are getting out the old barbecues, so add a little Huzzah to your celebrations. Get your cooler ready and stock up on Huzzah Probiotic Seltzer by using code BRAINCANDY for 20% off your order at drinkhuzzah.com. That's code BRAINCANDY for 20% off at drinkhuzzah.com.
Love it. That pear one.
Delish.
Definitely reminds me of like a summer picnic. I want it right now.
Yes.
Okay, so I had like other things. Oh, it tickled.
You need a Huzzah right now.
I do. I am feeling like that whole speech gave me dry mouth. And you know what's funny is I do have a beverage in front of me, but it's sparkling water, and I didn't want to open it because it would make that noise. And I was like, people are going to be like, "What's that?" But now I can do it. Ready?
Yeah, now you can.
Okay.
There you go.
And then I didn't want people to think, is she drinking a soda? Because I am not.
No way.
And drinking but I wouldn't judge you if you did.
Yeah.
But just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so the whole show isn't going to be just us like complaining about.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
So you often give your documentary roundup.
Oh my God, yes. Do you have one?
Which I don't have a documentary to tell you about, but oh my God, Suze, I just started and finished the best show. Why did it take me so long to watch this? It's every single thing I love. Pose on FX.
Pose? I don't even know that show.
It's so good. It is about the underground ballroom scene, which is all queer and amazing and wonderful in the 80s and 90s.
Wow.
Yes, like the Vogue scene.
I didn't even know there was an underground.
Oh my gosh,
ballroom.
This is so amazing. Suze, I'm about to blow your mind with like, okay, then I am going to introduce you to a documentary because that's where this really all started. There's an amazing documentary that I saw years ago. Frank from the challenge, he recommended it to me. We did a challenge together and like hit it off like crazy. And, you know, I don't know what we were talking about, but he's like, oh my God, you will love this documentary. It's called Paris is Burning. Have you seen this?
I have heard of this.
Suze, it's so good. So you have to see Paris is Burning first, so you get all the background.
Okay.
And then you have to watch Pose. I know you're going to love it. It's by the same guy who did American Horror Story.
Yeah.
And, he's so amazing.
I can picture that. Okay.
Mark something.
Cherry?
I love him.
Is it Mark Cherry?
Something similar to that. I don't know. And I even had it last night. I was like thinking about this and like, you know how I am with names. And I was like, okay, and I'm going to say this, and yeah, no, I don't remember.
What do you like about it?
Okay, so first of all, there's so much that is beautiful and amazing about it. So it really started to give people who are transgendered a space to be authentic, a space to
Ryan
be
Murphy.
recognized. Ryan Murphy, that's it. Oh, Mark, I was way off. A space to be recognized, a space to be seen and be beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's what's the best way to describe it? So, it's like a contest, a show, a performance. It probably takes place monthly. I would imagine monthly or every few months or something like that. And there are different houses. So the community of people who are involved in the ballroom community are all, well, mostly, I don't know if it's all because whatever, but like queer, transgendered, often, like almost always people of color. So people who really did not have any space, especially the other, especially in, 70s, 80s, 90s. And so and I really wish I knew the history of how it really like started. I'm sure that was in Paris is Burning, but I didn't watch it yet. Again, I want to rewatch it, but I've been too busy catching up on episodes of Pose. It's so good. So, so the houses will be one older person who's usually called a house mother or house father, and they basically take in any youth who's kicked out of their home, who doesn't have a place to live, who's homeless, who's maybe in the sex industry, and they provide them a family. And they are family. And moms are mothers. Oh my God, I'm going to cry talking about it. It's the best.
Isn't it
so
beautiful when,
to see. Yes.
I mean, even sitcoms, like, I love Cheers. That's a family, even though it's not a family. Like, these close-knit, chosen families are, especially in these kinds of communities, are so important.
And you just see how people like stick up for each other, defend each other, and that space is safe. And then they show so beautifully in that show how there really was no space for people who are trans.
Please. I mean, we haven't come that far still.
It's so, there was a scene where she's trying to just have a drink with her girlfriend. And so she goes to a gay bar thinking like, the gay bar, at least they're gay. They at least we're on the same team here, guys. And they throw her out and just beat her up. And because they're like, we don't want women at our bar and you make everybody uncomfortable. Like I watch every episode and cry.
You're like emotionally invested. That's so nice.
Oh my God, yes. It's so good. The dancing's fantastic. The moves are amazing. They're all so talented. And Ryan Murphy did such a good job making this an inclusive cast. Everybody who's trans, shocker, is played by somebody who's actually trans.
Right.
Like, that's like a really novel idea. Like, imagine that.
Can I make one trans observation? I am very happy for Elliot Page and his, coming out as a trans man. And was watching clips of him on Oprah, and I just want to say, like, somebody needs to help him with that hair, though. Like, what? Did you see it?
I did. Okay, so here's a theory. And this was not a theory that was thrown around. I don't know if it applies. I did not come up with this. This was something that I discussed with somebody who is trans. And they said that people who are trans often miss the time in their life where they get to be, like, playful or experiment with, like, looks. And, so they do that when they finally get to. And often it can be a younger look just because they're, like, waiting to have that hairstyle that they've always wanted, waiting to wear that look that they always wanted to wear. And so it could be something like that. Because don't you feel like it was kind of youthful and, like, little boy, like Justin Bieber?
Yeah, I do.
So, like, it's like the exact haircut that I think you'd want if you were, like, a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So maybe she just wants that. Oh, he. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry.
No. Oh. But, yeah, I think you're right. But I want to be like, Elliot.
Yes.
Like, that is not the flattering haircut for you.
Right. Well, I'm sure that he has friends who are going to do that.
Well, and maybe he thinks, so what? Fuck you, Suze.
Right.
And that's
probably.
As
you should.
Shut up.
Yep.
But I said that
Absolutely.
to my friend the other night. I'm like, Elliot's hair is not, it's not good. Because I think about, like, I'm always saying this to Lincoln. He always wants these terrible haircuts. And I'm just like, why? What is wrong? They need a woman to come in and be like, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I need a gay man to come in and help me with that.
Well, we do.
We need that a little more.
That's correct.
Golly. Yeah. So
but
it's wonderful and
out.
amazing.
That is a good recommendation.
You have to. It's so good. And the cast is, I believe it's 160 something trans cast and crew. Which is more than 50%. I screenshot that because I looked it up. I was like, I have to.
Well, good. That is so great. Know. Good.
Oh my God, I like stopped and looked at another text message that just popped up from a client.
Who was it?
And I like went into, well, it's a client text message, but I like went into, all of a sudden my mind like totally escaped and went somewhere else. So I apologize for that like 2 seconds where I was like disappeared as I was just talking to you there. But yeah, 140 trans actors and crew members on the show and 35 LGBTQ characters who aren't trans, representing more than half of the total cast and crew.
That's fantastic.
That's gotta be a first for a major show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right?
For sure. Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, these women are so fucking beautiful.
Oh, I believe that.
Oh my God. They're so gorgeous. So it's just like amazing and you have to watch it. And I think the show does such a good job, like from a mental health perspective. It did a really good job showing different, like, real mental health issues. You know, they talk a lot about HIV and AIDS. They talk a lot about, like, everything that they show in the show, a lot of it really happened. It lines up with, like, actual characters. Oh, and it's just really cool. So definitely check out Paris is Burning and definitely check out Pose and basically like the whole entire underground ballroom dance scene because it's what inspired Madonna's Vogue. It's all voguing. Yeah.
Yes.
And everybody knows these moves. It's you and as I was watching this, I was just thinking, I'm like, wow, this is everything in pop culture right now that we've totally stolen from like and appropriated from like you know the queer population and like we just take.
You know what would probably be great for them to dance in is some Rothy's.
Oh my God, I love my new lace-up sneakers.
Yes.
I am a huge fan of them. They're so comfortable. And any pair of sneakers that I can live in and then wash them and they will turn out sparkly brand new, Not like when you put them in the washer and they get kind of weird because you're not really supposed to do that.
Absolutely.
These are actually supposed to be washed.
Yep. It truly is amazing. I've had my white pair for years and years, and they're still totally white because you can wash them, and they, keep smelling nice. And they make masks. That's now Adam's favorite mask. It fits him perfectly. They have bags. These are all made out of recycled plastic, extremely durable. They last wash after wash, and they always have like new colors and patterns and stuff. So it's great to check out their inventory, even if you've done it before, because they have new stuff all the time. Keep it clean with washable shoes and bags from Rothy's. Head to rothys.com/braincandy to find your new favorites today. That's rothys.com/braincandy. I just love that they're a sustainable company. Yes. That's wonderful.
They would be good shoes to dance in.
They would. They really would.
Yes. I have been getting some...
Go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, have you been enjoying the dancing content from my son on my Instagram?
Oh my God, that video was so funny. And then when you pan over and it's Adam doing the air keyboard. I mean, I just am really sad that I'm not there playing with you guys.
I know.
I just need to, like, I don't know, throw Bo in the car and just come across the country and just drive there.
Bite the bullet,
just,
get over
move
here.
In. I just really miss you. It's been so long since we've had a hug.
I know. This is the longest in years and years.
I can't even. That was not on my list of things to talk about. But
yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I have a story that will terrify you. This might be like one of your worst nightmares.
Is it spooky?
Not spooky. More along the lines of like... Nightmare. Okay. So, we've talked about these. You know those glass bridges?
Oh, yes.
Do you know the story I'm going to tell you?
No.
Okay. I love that your reaction is already like that. And I love that. Okay.
I hate these things.
Right. We already said this was a bad idea. Didn't we say that like 5,000 times? We were like, AWH.
It really is an AWH.
Yes.
Accident
I'm telling you,
Susie.
I'm so glad that I introduced the Brain Candy family to this acronym, because now you get to see why it's so necessary to have in the repertoire.
It's true.
You need it. So you can just be like,
what happened?
AWH. And then it summarizes everything.
I'm palpitating.
Wouldn't that be a nice thing if it were just cracking? So
no.
This is in China. It's in Pion Mountain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, or Pion Mountain. There is a bridge, and it's one of those long-ass glass bridges. It's 300 meters long and 2.5 meters wide. And this...
I want to know how thick it is. That's the measurement I need.
That's a really good question. So, like, these bridges are popping up, all over the place.
Yeah,
and they're trying to attract people, who are... Oh, I want to take a walk, do something terrifying and scary. So they're already doing things to make it seem even more terrifying. So they're even putting, sections of the glass that when you step on it, it makes a pretend crack, so it looks like it's going to crack and fall off. So I love that you're already terrified about that. You're already terrified about the fake crack. So he's like, fake crack?
Well, because
that's insane. I'm out. Crazy story, Sarah. Right. Okay. So this guy, and you pay $16 and you get to walk across this bridge.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So right. So they I don't know how many people were ahead or behind him when this happened, but this guy's walking across. All of a sudden, and it probably, I can't imagine that this was an all of a sudden thing. I think there might be a little bit of a buildup where maybe people at the gate should have been like, sorry, bridge is closed. The wind started to pick up.
Okay.
It turned into 73 to 92 mile an hour winds.
Oh my God.
That blew the entire glass off of the bridge.
No.
He got trapped hanging on to just the railing because the floor beneath him blew away in a Category 1 hurricane wind.
No.
No, terrifying. Could you imagine? Here you are paying your hard-earned money to walk across this glass bridge, and the floor fucking blows away.
No.
That's a nightmare.
It's unacceptable.
I didn't know. What is so terrifying is when we discover new things for me to be scared of.
Right.
Like,
right,
I was scared of those
here.
bridges for them, A, breaking, B, cracking, C, me falling off the edge. I did not want to add the fourth of floor blowing away.
Right, wind.
I didn't know. Like, oh my God, that makes my toes curl just thinking. Could you imagine you're walking across the bridge and there's like that moment where it shakes loose and you're like, that couldn't.
Is there a video of it or?
No, there is a photo of him clinging to the side for dear life, though. And the before and after of what it looks like with a floor and without a floor.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm like, I'm getting like nervous just thinking about that.
I see it. Are you kidding me?
As soon as that came up, I was like, I have to tell Susie about this. This is terrifying.
How'd they get him off?
Oh, I don't know. He was trapped there for a few hours, though.
Sarah.
I know.
That is sick.
I'm only laughing. I'm not laughing at the thing. I'm laughing whenever Susie gets like this.
Like
I like
serious.
it. Yeah. When she's like, that is sick. Like, I just like
when I'm
it
appalled.
gives me joy when I find a story that gets to do that you get to react like that to.
I love it.
I know. I ain't going on any of those bridges.
AWH.
AWH. So I've got to be on the lookout. Yeah, I don't know. It's more fun to say like that. Oh, God. So there's your story of things to be terrified about. Another one that a terrifying experience that maybe had a interesting outcome. So there was a case, and the part I don't understand really, we'll talk about it later, is what happened in the actual case. But it happened about 5 years ago. There was a guy who was surfing, and he got attacked by a shark. And the shark bit the surfboard, bit his leg, played with him for a little bit, and the guy passed out in the water. He lost consciousness. He was comatose for 3 to 4 days.
Wow.
Lost his leg. Thank God that the lifeguards saw him and they dragged him to shore. He ended up losing his leg. He got his surfboard back, and the surfboard had the shark's tooth stuck in it. Okay. So the people who were investigating the accident, or I don't know, Department of Wildlife or whatever it was, whoever was dealing with them, they took the tooth and rather than just leaving it with the guy or whatever, they took it and they I don't know, as evidence or something like that. Well, apparently it is illegal to sell, purchase, or possess any part of an endangered species. Okay. And this guy really, really, really wanted the tooth. So he went, and he kept on request. Yes. The guy who lost his leg, he figured fair trade. Yeah. Like, you got my leg, I'll get your tooth. Yeah. We'll call it even.
Yeah.
Well, not the Department of Wildlife or whoever it was, it's down in Australia, was like, nope. He kept on asking for it. Like, please, can I have a tooth? Please. They were just keeping it there. They're like, the shark already lost his tooth. I already lost my... Nobody's getting anything back. Can't I just have it? And they refused to give it to him. So a lawyer got involved, and they went to court. And the guy just last week won the tooth back.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was their argument? Do you know?
That's the part I don't know.
Yeah.
This was and I looked at 3 different articles and thought something was going to tell me a little more about
the legal standing,
the legal story of it, or why they did say it was the first time that they've ever made a decision to on the side of not the Fisheries Management Act.
Yeah.
Because usually it's a breach of that is a 2-year in prison, $100,000. Yeah.
What kind of shark is endangered, though? Is that a stupid question? I didn't even know.
No. I think that's a really good question.
We have to protect them and everything, but I didn't know they were actually sometimes endangered.
Let me see if it says. Oh, a great white.
Oh, I didn't know they were endangered.
Golly, an 18-foot great white shark.
I mean, he deserves that tooth.
I think so too. That's what I'm saying. It's like these things. I'm like, why is this even a question?
Why does he want it though? For real?
Also, an important question.
Maybe it was emotional.
But then again, like I had a little bump on my ear.
Yeah.
And like we always referred to it as my lucky bump. When I was little growing up, I would be like, oh, hang on, I gotta let me rub my lucky bump. It was like right on the side of my ear.
What?
And I would call it my lucky bump. I can't believe we've never talked about this. Have I not talked about this on here?
I'm really starting to think you make this shit up as you go.
I swear I am not making this up. This is definitely a real story. Oh my God, it's so funny that. So it was like a little, it's like a mole. It looked like a mole, but white, like the same color as my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And like we would just joke, and that it was like my lucky bump. And when I was born, my mom saw it on me because I'd been there since I was born. It's like a birthmark or whatever.
Aww.
And she like freaked out. She's like, "What is that?" And the doctor told her it was left over from when I was a fish and had gills. And she was just had a baby and like had a C-section, so she's all hopped up on drugs or whatever.
Jokes.
And so she was like, oh, okay. And like believed it for a bit. So she then started telling me that joke when I was little. She would always say like, oh, you're a Pisces. And like, that's from when you were a fish and had gills. And that's why you're such a good swimmer. So I'd be like, I'm the best swimmer. Look at my gills. So then it became like my lucky bum. It was a whole thing. Yeah. So then it started giving me a little bit of like pain. Like it felt like kind of painful. So the doctor said, like, just in case, let's just remove it. And so my mom was like, I have to come with you. I'm devastated. Like, she was like sad about it. She's like, I made that. That's like part of it. And they're getting rid of it. And she asked the doctor if she could keep it.
She didn't.
She did.
And she has it.
No, the doctor was like, ma'am, this is this is a biological contaminant. Like this is like live, now it's dead flesh.
I feel like you should be able to keep it.
And, well, that was her argument. She was like, why? She's like, I made it. It's technically mine. I was like, pretty sure it becomes mine when
I do.
Upon birth.
I don't like this rule that if let's say they did take that guy's leg too, he should be able to keep that if he fucking wants it.
Remember that story about the leg wasn't there a documentary about a leg?
Oh my God, yes. What was that
I still
called?
haven't seen that. What was that called?
Oh my God, that was awesome.
And it was about like buying and trading a leg, or like
a fake leg though.
Wasn't
it
fake?
A prosthetic? Let's hope.
I don't know. Now I'm wondering.
Right now I wonder.
That's funny that the stories have all. That's why it's always important to like brush up on things like stories from the past, because in my memory this was a real leg.
So like when you remove a leg or whatever, it just turns into the same as if you died, right? It just curls up and turns into weirdness.
Curls up, Suze. It's not the Wizard of Oz. This isn't the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz. Right? Okay, yeah, but like curls up, it makes me think of the toes on the house, when like when the house falls on the Wicked Witch and the toes go like. That's exactly what I picture.
Does,
like
though.
You cut off the leg and it just goes. And like, oh my God! I don't even care if this is just you and me laughing about this. That is such a funny visual.
So annoyed with us today.
That is such a funny visual. Oh God!
Listen,
so
guys,
yes,
just bear with us.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like we keep. That's what's funny. You can keep human teeth, but you can't keep shark teeth.
Yeah. Right.
That seems like it doesn't make sense.
And this feels like spirit of the law versus letter of the law.
Yeah,
because isn't the whole reason you're not allowed to have these body parts of endangered species so that you don't kill them and then keep stuff?
Correct.
So
I feel like when it goes the other way and they're trying to kill you, you get to keep whatever. Yes, you get to keep whatever they leave behind.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, he said that he keeps the tooth in a case at his house. He wanted to show his grandchildren, and he takes it to motivational talks that he gives about his attack.
Wow. Did you see it? Is it big?
Yes.
Oh my
God.
God.
They didn't put it in scale with anything else. Like it's just it's like on a wooden table, so it's hard to tell. I could have used a quarter next to it, just for
right.
Just put a hand there. Because it looks huge, but also it could be tiny. I don't know. But I feel like sharks also have a lot of teeth, so they can like spare a few.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that worked out kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
By the way, that woman,
yes,
remember Bethany, that woman that lost her arm in a shark attack?
Yes, yeah.
She follows us on Twitter.
Get out of town!
Yeah, she does. Maybe she's listening right now.
Well, hey, Bethany. We have some questions about surfing, sharks, and the Australian Wildlife Act.
And curling up body parts.
And what happens. Yes.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I love us.
She
love
loves
her.
Jesus. She seems like a really nice, indomitable spirit.
Yeah.
So, hello, Bethany, if you're listening.
So it's it's very it's interesting that a lot of the people who, or maybe not interesting, I don't know, that a lot of people who get attacked by sharks and survive like, do that motivational speaking thing, which makes me think, are surfers inherently like that
resilient or something?
Resilient. Or
and she was back out on the board like 2 seconds later.
Right. And that's what I'm like thinking in my mind, that what it takes to be a surfer.
Yeah.
It's definitely like the actual definition of the sport is getting beaten down by a wave and getting back up.
Right.
That is, I just summarized surfing for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course that metaphor holds up for like real life, or that, you know.
Yeah. They're always like, what's the big deal? And then they're back out on their board.
Yes. Which is why I say that same thing. Who is it that Jerry Seinfeld says, you don't ever have to worry about skateboarders as long as they don't get into drugs.
Yeah. Right. Now,
because
I bet you these surfers would be like, I'm not fucking getting on that glass bridge.
Right. Well, because they're not dummies. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not falling for that crap.
Not falling for that crap. Oh, thank you for this excellent segue.
Yes.
I don't know if this is a story I shared before. It was in my notes, but I didn't cross it out. So if I did share it, you're welcome for the little reminder. If I haven't shared it yet, you're welcome for new information.
Okay.
Remember how there was that croissant that we thought was
that was stuck in the tree.
Was a monster?
Yeah.
There was another mysterious item that was found that people were very worried about. An unexploded grenade.
Oh, well, that's reasonable.
Totally reasonable. So people were like, definitely stay away from it. It's really dangerous. We got to call in the bomb squad. And so they had people come in and investigate and get it. Don't worry, it was just a butt plug.
Shut up. No.
So I have not told that story out here
what
yet.
What color was it?
Black and looked exactly like a grenade, which makes me ask a lot of questions. Who's into that?
Sarah. Oh, what? My God.
Isn't that funny?
Fantastic.
I'm gonna find the picture of it that I have. This has been I don't even know where this article went. But I was like, I have got to share that with Suze, that the unexploded grenade was, because that's funny. You know, everybody who lives in because I like thinking about all of the other stuff, like, you know, like creating the narrative of like what's going on in that neighborhood, wherever that is happening. So somebody discovers it, and then you know that like if somebody found an unexploded grenade in my neighborhood, on my little cul-de-sac, and the bomb squad came in, and they were like, every neighbor is coming out and is going to want to know what the hell is going on. Yeah. So every neighbor is going to be asking follow-up questions about what happened, what, and the fact that every neighbor gets to hear, oh no, don't worry, it was just a butt plug, is the best ever.
Right, and like, wouldn't you love to be there when they figured it out, whoever it was? Be like, oh, this is just a butt plug, it's fine.
I would, and then that's a funny story, because what if the person from the bomb squad was like, oh, no, I see these all the time. Yeah. That's another one of the butt
Classic
plugs.
Mistake.
Throw it in the pile, Jerry.
Right.
Oh, gosh. I couldn't have thought of another name. I just was talking about Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry.
Priming toast to you. Oh, okay. But that was my little.
That was awesome. Let's wind it down, though, after that.
Tasty treat to end
all
on.
Wound up. Yeah.
Yes.
Tasty treat. Yes. Well, we learned that Sarah, she's been having some tough times on Twitter. This is probably why you're like, this is why I don't tweet.
Right. Yeah, it's exactly why.
Yeah.
Not tough times on Twitter, which sounds really fun to say. More like interesting observations from Twitter.
Yeah.
I have feelings about Twitter.
Instead of tweeting, she'll just watch Pose on FX.
Yes, and you guys should too.
The dancing.
But I'll stay the hell off of glass bridges,
Absolutely.
as we all should, because, AWH people.
AWH.
Yeah, and
if you take my leg, I get your tooth.
Right. Trade for fair trade.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. We've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
Don't forget to check out our merch. There's always some new stuff in there that Sarah's been whipping up, and it's really fun and does help the show so much. Anytime you use our codes or sponsors, please let us know because that helps us too. And tell a friend. Thank you so much.
We love you guys. Bye, 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 bye. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that show. You got this far, so you must be a hardcore podcast fan. We'd love to invite you over to our podcast, Twinning at Life. We'll be gossiping about relationships, yes, ours included, bachelor chatter, pop culture, reality TV, and really a bunch of real-life stuff. Come join us and have some fun. Just search Twinning at Life on your podcast app.